Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello everyone, Happy New Year and thanks for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We continue our look back at 10 years of covering Section 5 sports with this story from February of 2014. Here's Bill Pucko.
Which brings us to Warsaw. Usually we limit our story ideas to Monroe County, but these kids are just too good to ignore. Here is the Warsaw Pact. It is the best little two-person indoor track team in the section. Playing in the Livingston County League, representing the center of Wyoming County, they are the Warsaw Tigers. This is a school with some athletic pedigree, starting with a top-ranked small school wrestling program in the state. But thanks to Clarissa Placems and Karmen Auble, they make their mark in track and field, too.
The two-man team has been great. We lift together, we do some sprints together, just that part has been great. And it's nice to have somebody to support you, especially with indoor, with there only being two of us. Sometimes it's hard when you're the only person doing something and you know that you have that extra person to push you, and we both push each other just as much.
Placems, a four-year varsity performing senior, was second in the triple jump and fourth in the high jump and ran the 55 for lack of anything better to do. Well, tell me a little bit about your events and what you do.
I do the high jump, triple jump, and run the 55.
Alrighty. Do you have a favorite of those?
The high jump is my favorite.
Auble is an elite Division I Xavier University-bound senior, a six-year varsity athlete who competes in 3 field events.
Everything comes down to practice and, 2-a-days and things like that. So I've really focused on practicing each event to the best of my ability, and I keep practicing.
You like one over the other?
I like all of them for different reasons. I find that with shot put, it's kind of a violent event, so you can get a little bit of that frustration out. But then pole vault is so technical, and you get to do some of the things that you never thought that you could do. You get to go upside down in the air and jump over something. And then with long jump, it's kind of a speed event, a strength event. You run and you see how far you can jump. And I like that with the pentathlon. You get every event, you get all of it. And so I like that a lot.
Karmen finished first in the shot put with a toss of 37 feet even, almost a full 5 feet better than the field. Auble was second in the long jump with a leap of 16 feet, but it's in the pole vault where she has really made a name for herself.
Pole vault's kind of that event where everyone's a family. If you need a pole and someone has that pole, they'll let you borrow it. If you need chalk, someone has chalk. If you forget a weight sheet, someone has a weight sheet for you to fill out. It's a family-like area, which I like that a lot about it.
Her dad, Mike, is the Warsaw track coach and her personal pole vault instructor. He invested 5 figures in a backyard pole vault pit. It has served as a training ground for many willing to make the trip into Wyoming County, but none have benefited more than his daughter.
Growing up with it, he taught me how to pole vault when I was 7, 8 years old, so it's always been a part of me, and I definitely find that that's what keeps me going, is knowing that my dad has been such a great impact and great influence on me.
Auble holds the outdoor Section 5 record in the vault at 12 feet 3 and was unbeaten over the past 3 years, which made this meet all the more significant. That streak was broken. Auble, fresh off the volleyball season and a little undertrained this early in the track season, only managed to clear 8'6". That tied for second. Zoe Camilacci, a fellow AJR member, opened the season with a meet-winning vault of 10'6". The Hilton Juniors snapped Auble's winning streak and set up what figures to be a compelling rivalry. However that works out, Karmen advances towards graduation and a memorable high school sports career.
I love love hanging out with my friends. I like being, somewhat of a regular teenager, but I find that there's a lot of dedication that comes with track. And, as an athlete and someone who became so elite so fast, sometimes it's really hard to find that balance of being a regular teenager and an elite level athlete. So I'm trying to find that balance.
Karmen added a full foot to her vault at Hobart last week, but Camillacci won again.
Karmen Auble went on to achieve many accolades at Xavier, including holding the school record in the indoor pentathlon and the outdoor heptathlon. Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the High School Notebook. We've got that and more when the High School Sports Beat returns. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to the High School Sports Beat. I am Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, and that means it is time for Matt Trabold to join us. Matt, thanks once again for joining us on the High School Notebook.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, let's talk about a mainstay in the area lacrosse circles who is stepping aside, and that would be the head coach at Victor.
A definite surprise in the local sports world and the lacrosse world as a whole happened last Saturday as national name Victor boys lacrosse head coach Jim Andre stepped down from that role. He became head man in 2013, and Victor was one of the top few big-name programs nationally over his tenure. State titles in 2015, 16, 17, 19, 6 straight sectional titles, plus 9 U.S. Lacrosse High School Americans. And that includes Syracuse star Jamie Trimboli and also T.D. Erlin, face-off legend. They both achieved it twice. His tenure also featured a 50-game winning streak, which was a national record. I talked on the phone with him that day, and he said it was a decision for his family, very understandable, and that he's looking forward to cheering on his own children in their lacrosse pursuits. He mentioned how thankful he is for all the positive responses. That includes getting texts from 2 different major college lacrosse coaches within just a couple minutes of the news being sent out on Twitter by the Victor Lacrosse account. One of the tweets giving him love that day was from T.D. Erlin, I mentioned him a second ago, and that included him saying he wouldn't be where he is today without Andre. Positive impact as a coach and as a person and leader of student athletes is immense.
Let's talk about a couple of local players and a couple of local, at least one local team or area team in bowl action.
As expected, college football bowl season, much different this time around in pandemic times. The Buffalo Bulls with their handfuls of former Section 5 products were in the Camellia Bowl against the Marshall team ranked for much of this season, including the CFP poll, that big poll late in the season, and with an elite run defense coming from the Thundering Herd. Like usual, the starting O-line featuring Mike Nowitzki from Victor and Jack Klenk from Pittsford opened things up for Kevin Marks Jr. to have another big rushing day. Starting tight end Zach LaFave from Victor was involved catching the football, unsurprisingly. He does that a lot. He's made a habit of it over the years there with the Bulls. Safety Corey Gross Jr. from Brockport was second on the team in this game in tackles with 8 of those bad boys. One of the biggest plays of the game came from Eric Black, defensive end from Rush Henrietta, as Marshall was upon the UB red zone trying to tie it at 17 with around 10 seconds left. Big moment in the game, and he had the big chase down block as one of his 2 sacks on the day. And talking about another tie locally in bowl season, former Pittsburgh Panthers running back Josh Mack and Liberty were in the Cure Bowl against 12th ranked and undefeated Coastal Carolina. Mack didn't get too many touches in the first quarter and a half, but found all sorts of success through the last majority of the game. He had arguably his finest rushing performance of the season, 105 yards, 14 carries, so obviously a big yards per carry number there. Plus 22 receiving yards on top of it. He had spin moves, big stiff arms, running over dudes, 5 runs of 12 yards or more, and Penn State transfer kicker Alex Barbier won it for the Flames in overtime. It was a big season for Mac as a whole.
If you and I wait around long enough, we're going to have a bowl game named after us. And
so many different great names,
yeah,
2 of them.
I think we deserve it too, right? So, hey, let's talk about, speaking of names, let's talk about a name change coming up that might catch some people off guard.
So the Brighton Central School District announced earlier on in 2020 that they would be changing their team name from the Barons due to the history of the term Baron. A little while back, they put out a poll to decide the new mascot between Bulldogs, Bruins, Bobcats. They drummed up some really cool looking logos with all three of those options as well. Some big names publicly gave their votes in the name competition, including Cleveland Indians 40-man roster member Ernie Clement, who voted for Bruins, and another vote for Bruins in tweet form came from UCLA athletic director Martin Jarman, after well-known sports psychologist around here for the University of Rochester Medical Center, Craig Seifer, asked him on Twitter. When it was all said and done, Bruins won the competition. Two Brighton teams especially keep an eye on. If high school sports able to happen the remainder of the school year, football, girls hoops, and plus a lot more on top of that. Bruins, baby.
All right. Hey, always great stuff, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. We'll see you next week. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later a hockey showdown between Aquinas and Irondequoit when the High School Sports Beat returns.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Making the grade this week is Honeoye Falls Lima senior Mari Spitz. Mari is a triple threat on the court and on the field, playing soccer, basketball, and softball. If playing 3 sports throughout high school isn't impressive enough, Mari is an all-state soccer goalie and all-county for soccer, basketball, and softball. In her free time, Mari also volunteers with youth softball and soccer clinics. Outside of her busy sports life, Mari holds a 97% GPA and is part of the National Honor Society. Next year, Mari plans to play softball in college and major in education. This week, Mari Spitz is making the grade. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. Now here's Dave with the Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. This week we've got a special edition of the Section 5 Spotlight. Hilton sophomore Luke Pisani serenades his basketball coaches for the holidays with his own rendition of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Let's take a listen. Up next, the Little Irish take on the Eagles of Irondequoit. We'll have the highlights from the ice when the High School Sports Beat returns.
And now to Eichel. He floated one. Score!
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We flash back now to February of 2014 and the High School Hockey Showdown of the year. Here Here's Bill Pucko and Dan Fates.
The hockey in Section 5 is pretty good this year. Irondequoit and Aquinas are not only two of the best in this area, they are ranked number 1 and 2 in Division II in the state. They squared off in our Salino and Barnes All-Sports High School Game of the Week. Here's Dan Fates.
It was a marquee Monday matchup of top teams and top scorers in Section 5 hockey. The Aquinas Little Irish boast the top 2 scorers in the division, while the Irondequoit Golden Eagles bring the 4th and 6th top scorers on their squad. With both programs tied atop the standings, the importance of this game was magnified.
You know, our guys are always excited to play, and I think this year with the records both teams have, puts a little more importance on it. You know, could determine sectional seedings and stuff. So, you know, we're looking forward to it.
And these two teams are no strangers to one another.
Us and Aquinas have been rivals for really ever since the league started here back in the late 60s. They got a couple guys that can put the puck in the net, so you know, we got to pay attention to them a little bit. But for us to be effective, we have to take care of our own zone, you know, get the puck out, and then we got the guys that can score.
But it didn't take long for the Golden Eagles to strike first. Anthony Thurston fired a low shot that found the back of the net just 51 seconds into the game.
You know, we were just coming down on a 3-on-2. Center guy drives the net. Heinze just dishes it over, and it's nothing but net. I mean, it's simple, really.
How you guys draw it up?
Yeah, absolutely. We work on that every day in practice.
Thurston's goal gave Irondequoit the early emotional lift. You know, it's 60 seconds in the game. What's that like?
It just puts our energy through the roof. The whole team is excited. Everybody's pumped up. I mean, it just feeds. Everybody feeds off it.
Halfway through the period, Matthew Comanzo fired a low shot from the point and found its way past a slew of skates and the Aquinas goaltender.
It just came out to me on the point. I don't know. I just shot it. I saw it hit the back of the net, like the bottom part. Saw it swish around, so it's definitely a good feeling. Yeah.
Shooting through traffic, is that what you guys preach? Keep low shots?
Yeah, definitely. I know if we hit the glass in practice, we have to get on the goal line, so I'm not shooting that.
AQ got its first great opportunity of the game. Just a minute later, when Michael Bonagario showed off his slick stick handling, but Jacob Dowry made the save.
Just shift around and try getting a good move on him, but can't get every shot on that and can't get every goal that you want, but just not enough right there.
The rivalry and tempers heated up with 6 minutes to go, after the Irish fired a shot on net. Well after the whistle and a scuffle ensued. Both sides were issued offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Irondequoit led 2-0 after 1. Early in the second, Elliot Clemens delivered a huge hit in the corner. Clemens gets called for boarding. Aquinas successfully killed off the penalty, and for the rest of the second it was all Little Irish, peppering the Golden Eagles with chances. Then right off the faceoff, Jimmy DiLiberto tapped the puck through the center's legs and got Aquinas on the board, cutting Irondequoit's lead in half with 9:20 left in the second. After some more pushing and shoving, the Golden Eagles held on to a 1-goal lead going into the locker room.
All right, we got 2 goals. Didn't work awful hard for them. Okay, they got behind, they got desperate, and they started taking it to us, and then we got us on our heels. All right, we stopped skating that period. And they took advantage of us. Okay? Guys, you got to learn when you're playing with a lead, the other team is going to get desperate. That's fine, that's part of hockey. But you got to match it. You got to match your intensity, and you got to find a way to get it back on our side.
Aquinas continued where it left off in the second, with several chances early. The Little Irish nodded the game when Jimmy DiLiberto struck again, taking the pass from Anthony DePietris and finishing with a sweet spinorama goal in the slot. The game wasn't tied for long. Connor Hayes picked the top corner for Irondequoit to regain the lead with 9:35 left. Then just 30 seconds later, Lewis Cup found the back of the net, and the Golden Eagles had a 2-goal cushion.
That was crazy. You know, we were going nuts on the bench, and you know, it gave us a lot of momentum to get that next goal.
The Golden Eagles added another goal late and cruised to a 5-2 victory.
It's one game. you know, you learn that if you don't bring your game and you're not ready to play from the very beginning, when you drop the puck, good things don't happen.
Score didn't go the way you wanted to, but what can you guys take away from this game?
I think we're going to learn a lot, learn from our mistakes, and then come back. Next time we play them, we'll be ready and play harder.
For the Vision High School Sports Beat, I'm Dan Fates.
We'd like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. And remember, if you've got a story for us, let us know. Send an email to rocksportsnow@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a happy holiday and a happy new year. We'll see you in 2021 for more of the High School Sports Beat.